Mr. Truck here on Rampart Ridge Road, north of Woodland Park, up in some national park. I'll figure it out. But today, we are with this AEV package, like a bison package, on a 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X package. So it's all off-road. Special bumpers, all these things that they've done to this truck, skid plates like you wouldn't believe. It's boron steel, very hard, tough, made for these rocks, made to climb over them, made to pop the dents out when you've gone over the rock. Really good stuff, and this is a fun truck. It's got everything, heated seats, massaging seats. I'll show you all stuff on the inside. But you got this heavy-duty steel bumper, and there's places for clevis, and a great big skid plate, and then there's 5 skid plates, and they're all that boron steel. So it's the cool truck. And I'm going to show it to you now. I'm driving around, having fun. And you were probably wanting to know how much power this has. Well, this is that 6.2 V8, 10-speed automatic. It's one of my favorite engines from the GM line. This has 420 horsepower, 460 foot-pounds of torque. So you got all that power, and you got 10 gears. And it's a 2-speed. It's all made for mountains. We'll talk about that. Front and rear locker. I mean, this is the ultimate off-road truck. So come join us for the review. And we do a walk around. Up here, these Salta tires, or Salta wheels. They're so cool, they're nice and flat, heavy duty. It's got the Goodyear Wrangler tires, great tread. They're, all-terrain. And then you can see in here, guess you can't see the shocks. Let me show you the shocks in the back. I love this, V8. AT4X. I don't like the rub rail. I mean, I'm sure it has a purpose, but I wish it was a rub rail and a running board of some kind. But anyway, small problem. Back here, you can see the Multimatic shocks on the rear. Another one of those great big bumpers from AEV. Place for your clevis, so you can really pull people out. Really nice hitch. It's easy to get the chains, the safety chains on. Of course, you got all these plugs for the trailer and for the cameras. You add extra cameras to the trailer. It's great. All that cool stuff. And then I love this multicolored tailgate. The black is on one of the steps of the Multi-Pro tailgate. It folds down, and that's too cool. Then there's your sprayed-in bed liner. You gotta have one of those. But great looking truck. Let me show you the Multimatics in the front. Several spools automatically adjust. They're great. A lot of this is the same package used to be out on the Colorado with the bison package on it too. Yeah, I'll look under the hood. 6.2, my favorite engines with a 10-speed. That's my big giant air box, your cold air intake. Cool. It's got like 2 little boxes. I don't know if they filter them both or what they've got going on here. But this is a great engine. The only thing I don't like about it is it takes premium fuel. But it's also a premium engine and it goes fast. Now see, that's a nice clevis hook. It's right there where you can get to it. You can see it. You don't have to get on your knees. You just hook it up and go. Good job, GM. Now see, right down there in that corner, next to the two-wheel drive in the park, that's your tow haul, well, I guess light that tells you your tow haul's on, which is great. I like that. And it stays on. Even after you shut it off and do other things, go back to it, it's right back on. I like that. You know, Andre's a big fan of having it stay on too. Now the button you push is the bottom half of that mode button. A little touchy, but yeah, the modes are cool. You want to see them, but that's, let's see if it tells me. There we go, all-terrain, off-road, normal. That's all off that same button. Boy, it's cool. Look at the fuel mileage. I'm getting about 7.6 with this 8,000-pound trailer, which is pretty normal. That's kind of how that works.
Don't go away, Mr. Truck.tv. We'll be right back.
Now you see that there? By God, you can hear the blinker going. That is what the camera does. Isn't that so cool? The GM's got the best cameras in the world, and that's the right side behind my trailer. There's the left side. That is just so cool. You can see all the way back to the end of the trailer. Man, it's wonderful. A wonderful deal. Of course, the backup camera's nice too. Let me back this thing up. I'm trying to get in the back in my trailer yard. But it's pretty good cameras all the way around. Shows me right where I'm going. Shows who I'm running over. See if there's any ducks in the way. It's awesome. Love these cameras from GM. It's a 13.4. Big. I like the layouts. All the toggle switches. You can drop your tailgate. You can lock the front axle, lock the rear axle. You got downhill descent. All kinds of doodads. Radio's cool to drive because you can get up here in the steering wheel. Your main control, adaptive cruise control, all that on the left side. But over here is everything else, and you can actually go right through your radio station just by flipping that once you get to the right spot. Let's see. I should be able to know this by now. No phone connected. There's your directional thing. Yeah, there's your stations. And all you want to do, if you want to change it, you just rotate this little, where the heck is it? This little dial. You rotate that, and it goes through all these channels. Isn't that so cool? You gotta love it. Yeah, and then you can, of course, check fuel mileage too. Let's see, I gotta go back here with this button. And yeah, now I'm down to 6.6 because I've been messing around here in the yard, unhooking the trailer. But yeah, it shows you your range down there with your fuel mileage. I'm down to 1/4 of a tank. But the AT4X, I gotta love it. Yeah. And the seats are awesome. Of course, they're heated, they're massaged, they're cooled. And there's the logo for the AEV big package that's on this. Yeah, it's pretty neat. I like the layout. I'm finally getting used to this T-shifter. You gotta push a button to go to park. You gotta push buttons, and I don't know. It took a while to get used to it. And then the brake controller's right past that toward the console. And I'm used to it too. And of course, it's easy to reach there as it is the dash. So I don't know. Yep. And I like the phone charger now. It's on the front part of your console. So it's that thing right there. That is your phone charger, and it's built right into the front of the console. Pretty deep console pockets. But yeah, you look down the front of the console, and there's where you put your phone to charge it. That makes sense. Isn't she a beauty? 2023 GMC Sierra 1500 AT4X with that really cool AEV Edition, which cools the great bumpers, all the skid plates, the boron steel, the special wheels. It's just too cool. And here's the AEV stamping on all the upholstery. There's several logos of that. And here's underneath, look at all the skid plates. All that boron steel. Better than regular steel by quite a bit. Okay, driving this 2023 GMC Sierra 1500, AT4X, which is like an off-road package. And then it's got the AEV package, which is like a bison option on Silverados and on the Colorado. But anyway, that package costs $8,000. Nope, I'm wrong. It's $6,895, and that gives you the hot stamp boron steel skid plates, like 5 of them. The front approach steering gear, big skid plate on the nose there underneath. Transfer case, fuel tank, and rear differential skid plates. A lot of skid plates. It's got stamped steel rear bumper. Really cool Salta wheels. They're a 12-spoke high gloss black aluminum wheels with AEV. Of course, they got that stamped everywhere in the seats, on the bumpers, all over the place. Those are Salta wheels. Those are 33-inch tires, which is a good-sized tire. It's really an off-road truck. Rear locker, front locker, and it's a lot like the ZR2 with a few more things. This one here lists out at $7,045 more than a ZR2. It's actually cost more than a Raptor and more than a TRX Ram. My goodness. It's 1,290 pounds of payload. It'll actually tow 8,700. And we're going to tow 8,500 with it tomorrow. And Multimatic DSSV dampers. I'm taking pictures of that. It's that multi-spool system that automatically adjusts for whatever you're doing, off-road or highway or all that. But yeah, these salted wheels are their flat face. I don't know, it's not like an offset wheel. I guess that makes them stronger because they're not an offset, they're straight up and down. But yeah, everything on this thing is designed for strength and climbing those mountains, which is cool. Now you can even get this bumper that's ready to go for a winch. So, you know, it's getting up there like all those off-road trucks. And anyway, it's got a 32.5 approach angle, 32.5 inches, 1 inch more than a ZR2. Let's see. And all those skid plates and the bumpers are boron steel. It's supposed to be your boron steel. I remember they used to have the mule train, and that was all about the boron and the borax they were pulling out of probably Nevada. This boron must be something like that, very strong chemical in there, and it's steel, and it's supposed to be quite a bit stronger than regular steel. Actually, yeah, the front bumper, all that, the metal in there is supposed to be 3.5 times stronger than premium steel. These are boron stamped steel. There's a lot more to talk about this. We're going to do that when we drive over on the camera, so you can see the underneath. But yeah. 15-inch diagonal heads-up display. I love heads-up display. It's got a lot of screens on it. Then the wood trim inside. Where's the wood trim? It's called the Vanta Ash wood. You gotta look for it. Oh yeah, I see it right there across the top of the big screen. Yeah, it's a pretty wood. It's dark. It's a whole dark color, but you know this is a volcanic red tint coat, and the interior they call it Obsidian Rush. 10 speed, of course, we talked about that. It's a 2-inch lift too, so that's another thing. It's got these rock rails on the outside edge. People like those. It's fine for, you know, really rock climbing, but I wish they would turn that into some kind of a running board so it's easier to climb in, because now it's a pain. It's dangerous to use those as a step. But anyway, that's me complaining. It's got front rear lockers. We talked about that. It's got stability track and trailer sway control. Trailer package. It's got the brake controller by the shifter. We'll show pictures of all this stuff on the inside. And the touch screen is 13.4. It's gigantic. It's really usable. It's got all kinds of buttons. You push buttons in your steering wheel to rotate through the channels, rotate through the screens, which makes it handy for seeing all the options you want on this truck. Micro suede headliner, full grain leather seats, not just, you know, split grain. It's full grain. It's nice and thick leather. Of course, it's got heated and cooled seats and massaging seats. I love massaging seats. Now we'll show the terrain modes on this, because it's even got the one pedal driving where, you know, you accelerate, it goes, you let off the acceleration, it brakes. So that's the one pedal driving, which is really cool for off-roading, for climbing mountains. Got the multi-pro tailgate. It's got a black insert on that bottom part of the step. It really looks cool against the volcanic red coloring on here. And this one is only $91,085. And that's in these trucks. These are the half-ton. My goodness, these things are getting incredibly pricey. But people are buying them. People want them. They can't build enough of them. Today we're bouncing down the road with a trailer that weighs 8,000 pounds. And this has the ability of hauling 8,700. In this GMC Sierra 1500 AT4X launch on rockets. Here we go. Got it in tow haul mode. Can't even tell how much gas is in here. Oh yeah, 42 miles. Well, I'm good. I'll have to go about 20 miles to get a gas station. So anyway, got my new summer cowboy hat on that I wore last week with Andre. And bouncing down Weld County on 34, where all the oil wells are. There's oil wells every 2 miles, all the way to Greeley. Anyway, it's a rough road, and the reason I'm doing this road is it's hilly. We're in sand hills, so you go up and down. See how much this shifts? So I'm not, I guess it's a Chevy. I can't tell how much it's GMC. I can't tell how much, what gear it's in. I wish they would tell us, but they don't want to. Anyway, not gonna worry about it. So bouncing down the road. My Jeep on top of my tilt trailer, and hopefully we'll get the Dakota out this week, so I can use that for my ballast. I'd like to. I set the fan on too high because it's loud in here. What's really weird is I compression seats, but they're noisy. I didn't know there's like a big fan in there. Apparently there is. Because, you know, I've only actually took this up to the mountains over by Colorado Springs. See a bunch of footage on Rampart Ridge Road up by Woodland Park, north of Woodland Park. And I was getting empty without a trailer. I was getting 16. I guess I got all the way up to 16.9, and I think that this is rated at 17. I never got 17 empty, so I don't know. It's full-size trucks, gas engine-wise, it's hard to get great fuel mileage. Hard to do. This is a heavy machine. This has got all this extra cladding on the skid plates, the extra heavy bumpers. It's got a bunch of weight added to it, so you know. I think the ratings in the EPA is right off of a normal AT4X without the AEV package. So that's what my theory is, because it didn't change fuel mileage on the EPA between the two trucks. So, and I know when you add weight, you lose fuel mileage. I did it to my truck. My truck's an EcoBoost Ford, an 18, and I was getting 23 on the highway with cruise control, like all the time, empty. And then I put some steel bumpers on it, put a bunch of toolboxes in it, and yeah, I barely can coast it into 19 miles to the gallon. That was a big jump, big drop. But that's what happens. You add weight to these things. Same way with accessories. You add a bunch of accessories when you're ordering these things and get everything known to man on them. It's going to lower your fuel mileage, and that's also will lower your tow capacity, because you know you're losing up your payload, and which uses up your tongue weight. So there you are. Yeah, we're going up and down these hills. We're at about 2,200 RPM going up the hill. This is actually doing pretty good for that. Now we're going to go downhill. This thing will shift a few times. I'm going to put it on fuel on cruise control. Let the machine do its best here. Let's see what it does. Okay, I got it set at 65. And the RPMs drop below 2. We got off that hill. Here's another hill. So many hills in here in Greeley. That's why the oil hides in those hills. So now we're backing down about 2,100 RPM now. Wow, that's 1,800. Cresting that hill, going down this hill. Going to shoot right back. No, it actually didn't change much. That did pretty good. Now climbing the hill, I got up to, holy cow, now we're really up there, 4,000 RPM. This must be a big hill. That's what happens, and that's what kills your fuel mileage, is going up the hill, not coming down the hill. So now we're going to loop over a couple of tops here. Got down to about 2,800 RPMs. But yeah, the hills are hard. I mean, you know, wind is hard on fuel mileage, hills is hard on fuel mileage. This is like a 323 axle ratio, so it's not geared low, which would probably keep your RPMs lower. The higher, you know, the higher the ratio, the higher the engine's going to rev. And the higher mean like a 410 rating, you're going to be way up there in RPMs. Of course, these only come with, mostly all you ever see these with is a 323. You see a 342 and a 3/4 tons. Tallest hills got us clear up to almost red line. It was 4,000 RPMs. Well, my red line said this might be 6,000. Whoop, there it got up to 28. 2 more hills. Yeah. The 4,000 RPM doesn't hurt anything. If you ran at 6,000 RPM for a long period of time, I don't know. The engineers say it doesn't, but that doesn't make logical sense. Going up a little hill, then we're going to go down, then go up a big hill. Let's see what this big hill does to our RPMs. Climbing, whoop, 3,000, 35, almost 4,000 RPM. These tall hills just really kicking in. Really pull the engine down. Pulling 8,000 pounds. Well, we're almost maxed out, 87. Isn't very far away from 8,000. Only have me in there and some camera equipment, so we're doing good. We're doing good. Wow, I've only got 24 miles left before this thing blows up. I mean, before it runs out of gas. Yeah, I'm only about 10 miles away. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it, man. got it in tow haul mode, which also takes away a little fuel mileage because it regulates the RPM. But once you get over 70 miles an hour, and I can't do that in 65 mile zone like we're in, but once you get up to 70, it really doesn't matter if you can tow haul or not. It's not going to change your RPM much. It's not going to change your fuel mileage. So when you're driving slower and it's really working to pull that trailer, that's where it gets you. So it's a lot of times it's good to be in tow haul mode because it doesn't really hurt anything at highway speeds. And it actually gives you some braking, some resistance going down the hills, even empty. Gives you a little bit, which is kind of nice. A little bit's better than nothing, that's what she said. And what's cool too with these GM trucks, this is a half ton, we're pulling 8,000 pounds. The adaptive cruise control actually works with a trailer. So I don't know, I've had somebody follow me and look at my brake lights, but I don't know if it's braking the trailer on the truck. It felt like it, but it's interesting. And I don't see the gain. I need to turn it up. Oh, I hit the brake controller and I shut off the adaptive cruise control. Well, of course it would. Like if you hit your truck brake, it does the same thing, so that makes sense. Let's see if I can zoom. There we go. Cool. It's really nice with the trailer. And I think, of course, Andre and I did that with the 2500 the other day in a GM. And it braked the trailer, but it didn't. Actually, it didn't brake the trailer. It used the transmission to slow you down. The tow haul mode kicked in and shifted down a gear. So it saved all your brakes, but that was cool.